His career touchdown pass in the NFL took him 264 snaps. It didn't take him many to throw his second. That's an 11-yard touchdown to Jared Cook. 14-6 is your score. Fourth quarter, Falcons hanging in there, Dan. Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan playing so good, such good football. I love that ball up over that defender in front of that front pylon. Gage has really stepped up and been a player for this offense.
So it was 21-16, and then trying to get it in under 2 minutes to go. Todd Gurley going nowhere, going backwards, sets up a 4th and 9. Ryan's going to throw it up. Julio Jones able to get a hand on it, but not quite. So 9 seconds left. Rex, the Falcons are going to try a Hail Mary. Do we
cover zero. You got to play cover zero here.
Stunningly, the Saints do not bring the house on this play. Ryan launches it. Ball is bobbled. They actually had a chance.
By the way, please knock it down. Don't go for the interception.
It falls harmlessly to the ground, and the Saints clinch a playoff berth as they win again. Their 9th consecutive victory. 21-16 is the final. And so, Dan Orlovsky, where are we right this minute now with the New Orleans Saints?
We always talk about the Chiefs and the Patriots being like the best organizations in football. We got to put the Saints in there. This is one of the best organizations in football. They're 8-0 over the last 2 years without Drew Brees. 8-0. They're 10-2 this year, and Drew Brees and Michael Thomas have played 2 games together. And with Taysom Hill, they've asked Taysom Hill to do 2 things this year. 1, win us the games that Drew Brees isn't playing in. He's 3-0 doing that. And then 2, take advantage of this opportunity to show us that you could be our quarterback next year. Check. He's done that. And so this is a football team and an organization that is complete. They got great coaching. They have a complete understanding of who they are and who they aren't. They develop players. That's a huge deal. They develop players, and Taysom Hill has done exactly what they have asked them to do. Orchestrate our offense. Don't lose the football games. Use the people around you. Understand that you have a great defense, and that's why they sit as the 1 seed in the NFC.
And so, RC, I look forward all week long, every week, to your power rankings. The Saints might be a team you're going to have to give some consideration to.
Listen, absolutely. You know what the Saints have done, man? The Saints have played so well with Drew Brees out. It's made me ignore talking about lemons because everything is peachy. The way that this defense has come out and played in Drew Brees' absence, also starting before Drew Brees got hurt, because we could go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the dominance that we got to see from this secondary, from this front line, and from these linebackers. And this team just continues to get better. And you know, I look at the Kansas City Chiefs and I think to myself, when you watch this offense, God, this is the best football that's being played in the league. But now, when I look at the New Orleans Saints as a unit, this defense is the best unit in football. Himbo sent me over a stat. The Saints are allowing 4.2 yards per play. Do you know what that means? They are turning everybody into a team that plays offense worse than the Jets, because the Jets average 4.7. So imagine that. Every team that steps onto the field with the New Orleans Saints is now coached by Adam Gase and Greg Williams. That's a team you want to play for, because that's the type of offenses you want to play against. And the New Orleans Saints have set themselves up to not only be the best team in the NFC, they may be the best team in the NFL.
It's a very strong point, and I'm sorry I blacked out for a brief moment while you were saying that, the way you brought it up. But, Rex, let me just come to you on this thought. Saints look extraordinarily dangerous in that NFC. But if Taysom Hill is their quarterback, because the injuries Drew Brees is coming back from are serious injuries. They say he's on pace to come back week 14. But if it has to be Taysom Hill, can that team go to the Super Bowl, that defense, with that quarterback?
Man, with that defense, it can travel, certainly. But when I look at it, I think it's crazy. Look, Taysom Hill is playing outstanding. And next week they play the Eagles. Well, we know the Eagles can't stop a quarterback running thing.
Right.
You know, so whatever you do, and I saw Shefty's report that Drew Brees could play, don't do that. Leave Taysom Hill in there. Make sure Drew Brees is 100%. But, Greeny, with this defense, I'm going to tell you, Ryan Clark and I have been part of some unbelievable defenses. What I saw, that play that we had with Todd Gurley running, okay, you saw the first guy miss, the second guy miss, the third guy miss, and Demario Davis cleaned it up for a 6-yard loss. That's pursuit, that's effort, that's everything you want to see out of dominating defense. Gives them a chance against anybody.
Probably than you have. The Jets went 0 blitz on that play. What is your first reaction?
Dumbest call I've ever seen. And been around the thing for 58 years, 30 years as a coach. That's the dumbest call ever. There's no other way of putting it. Look, and it's not like cover zero. There's a time and a place for cover zero. that thing sure ain't it. It's just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid.
I mean, as you watch that there, they actually have a linebacker who it looks to me is spying the quarterback.
Well, here's the other thing. They don't even know how to run a dang cover zero blitz. Number one, in a cover zero, and by no means do I mean this is ever appropriate to call it in that situation. But in a cover zero, number one, you'd rather be early than late. Okay? And the other thing is you pressure rush. So they got a guy 10 yards back. He ain't press rushing. That's why Derek Carr is able to step up. So not only was it the stupidest call ever, they don't even know how to run a dang cover zero blitz. And you wonder why they give up 400 yards a game. You wonder why this team hasn't won a game. And the thing I feel bad about is for every one of those kids that have been a laughing stock of the league. The Jets have been the laughing stock of this league. And for you to put those kids in that situation, to take the moment away from them, a win after all their hard work, that's just ridiculous. And look, Ryan and I differ in this. We both know Greg Williams, so, I mean, his take on Greg is, we all know this cat. He's the biggest ego. Look, I got a big ego, but I'm not stupid that way. Yes, I have an ego, and I will try to knock the hell out of your quarterback, but I'll beat your protection. I don't have to run cover zero every snap like this cat.
So Greg Williams is who we're talking about, to be clear, is the defensive coordinator for the Jets, and he is basically the head coach of the defense. Adam Gase has next to nothing to do with it. This has to be said before, RC, we hear about your thoughts on the play. It has to be brought up, if only because it was all over Twitter immediately yesterday. Dan, the Jets are a team that it greatly benefits to lose rather than win. The word tanking was all over this yesterday. Did the Jets tank that play?
No, the Jets did not purposefully tank that play. This is ignorance over malice. I mean, this is what happens when you have an ego. This is what Greg Williams does. I've seen this time and time again with Greg Williams. He does not care the situation. It's a dumb play call, like Rex said, but this is what he's always done. This is 2 years ago, a very similar situation. And if you 4th and 10, if you give up a 15-yard completion, you have a 1-point lead, game's over. It worked this week. I remember watching on television people praising this decision, that he forced the issue, that he wasn't going to let sit back and let the Hail Mary or the chunk play become a completion. It just is an ego thing. This is what Greg Williams always do. Guys, 2011, I was playing for the Colts. We were down playing the Saints. We were down 49-0. 49-0. It's the last play of the game. It's 3rd and 20. He zero blitzed me. Like, that's just what the guy does. He does not care. So everyone's saying this was on purpose. This would be my pushback. On purpose would be something random, right? That's something that stood out that had not been seen before. This was part of their plan. It always has been. It always will be with Greg Williams. Stupid play call, but it's not tanking.
RC?
And listen, and Rex kind of mentioned it earlier, I really like Greg. If not for Greg Williams and this kind of personality and this type of attitude, a dude that was working for the Tiger Athletic Foundation in 2004 on July 28th and then picked up by Washington on July 29th doesn't become the starting free safety next to Sean Taylor in week 4. But because he doesn't care, because it's just like, you know what, I'm going to play and do the things that I like, this is kind of what you get. And it's almost like we are now punishing Greg Williams for being everything we want people to be. We want people to have clarity, right? We love that Baker Mayfield now has clarity. Greg Williams has clarity on who he is. We want people to have an identity. We want them to know who they are and stick to who they are. This is who Greg Williams is. And we've seen him do this before, and he did it yesterday. And absolutely, it's a stupid call because Henry Ruggs was matched up on Lamar Jackson. He's the fastest man in the NFL, and you allow him a one-on-one matchup where the quarterback can see him and your linebacker doesn't dog rush. But this is who he is.
Right.
And so it's not tanking. It wasn't that he wants Trevor Lawrence. It wasn't that he wanted to lose the game. It wasn't that he was trying to take away from what these boys had done. What he was doing is saying, this is the way I end football games in this situation, and this is the way we are still going to end it. No matter who's on my team, no matter the fact that we haven't won a game and this may cost us, I'm going to go out being who Greg Williams is. And it just didn't work.
I get it. And look, I will say this. I agree, because to suggest that the Jets did this on purpose would suggest a level of aptitude that they have not demonstrated the entire season. It's much easier to assume than inept than some sort of brilliant. But Cindy, do we have the play before? Because it wasn't in the highlight, but it should be pointed out for those who didn't see the game. The Jets almost gave up a touchdown on the play before. The Raiders had wide open receivers behind the defense on consecutive plays. This was the second to last play, Rex. So how does this happen?
You know, I guess that, look, these guys are horrible on defense. They have no idea how the hell you let anybody get behind you in that situation. No wonder Greg went cover zero, because they can't cover him anyway.
But it's unimaginable, right? On consecutive plays, they have a receiver behind every defender.
But it shows you that you're not practicing situational football, because you got to practice this. And if you don't, that's what it looks like. And so it's like, hey, these guys already mailed it in. And the thing, Greeny, we're talking about tanking, like Greg Williams won the tank. Like he's going to be there?
Right.
There's no way in hell he's going to be there. So, shoot. They ain't taking it. Trust me.
Aren't Jets fans happy?
That's rude.
Oh, you know darn well. We're all happy.
Yes,
right.
of course.
Right.
I mean, there were
Greg
videos.
Williams should never pay for a meal in New York City again. That was the best thing that could have happened to them yesterday.
That's probably true. But I agree with Rex. I feel bad for the players.
Oh, my God.
They deserve to win that game. And their coach lost them that game. And it was in a year in which they